Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Travis Snell, and it is Oscar season. It's always a fun season to be in. Maybe except not for this year. I'm a little salty. We don't know. Nominations have not happened yet, but closer and closer we get. Doesn't look like Logan's gonna get one. And you know what? Oof. That's a rant for another day. If it does not get a nomination, there is quite the rant to that is gonna reckon down and rain down on all those old Academy of voters. Listen, it's the best movie of the year. Just fucking nominate. Anyways, we're gonna be talking about for the next. We did it with Disaster Artists, did a group review, but now Oscar season is upon us, and as last year I tried to do as many as possible. I think I did. I think 5 or 6 are the Best Picture nominees. I could be completely wrong. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do. I always see them all before the end of before the Academy Awards get there, except for there's always one. I remember last year was, I think the movie's just called Line or something like that, and the year before was Bridge of Spies. There's always one where I'm like, I'm not that interested. And you should do that. But for the most part, I try to see the ones that do get nominated and the ones that get the most praise. So like ones like Line or ones like Bridge of Spies, they got nominated, but no one gave a shadow of a chance I was going to win. And no one was telling me I had to go see it. As far as reviewers I liked, or as far as friends, no one was like, this is a must see, you gotta go out there. It's just, yeah, it's a good movie, good acting, this and that. So I'm seeing and watching movies. Finally, now this other thing, these reviews will probably be a bit later because I say this last year. I live in little old Kelowna, BC. It takes a little while before these movies to get here, which sucks. I still don't have Shape of Water. I'm so fucking mad. I want to see it so bad. I have like the Oscar contenders or like the ones that have the buzz right now. Been wanting to see it since I saw the preview and still nothing. So I think there'll be more people on that review because other people are interested in seeing that too. But we did Disaster Artist, so you can go back and listen to that. Today I am doing Call Me By Your Name. So, and for most Oscar reviews, I don't do any spoilers. I think if I do, I will give you, like, if I, I think I do. If I do them, I'll give you a warning. But I think last year they're very, very minimal because I do want people to go out and check them. And even then, I don't need to talk about these films spoiler heavy. I think there's many other films like A Last Jedi or like Infinity War coming out that are your big geek blockbusters that people don't want to be spoiled by, right? If you know this character kisses this character, if I slip up, people aren't usually that mad. This is not the movie they've been waiting for the past 5 years to go, oh, is this gonna happen? So Call Me By Your Name, heard lots of buzz about it a couple months ago, also when all the festivals happened. And I guess I can state this because it's my real official kicking off the Oscar season. Big fan of the Academy Awards. I think they get it wrong many times. I think they got it wrong last year in Moonlight, but many people disagree. But with Call Me By Your Name, it's interesting to talk about. Every year, and I'm going to refer to this when I review another movie coming up, and I won't tell you what it is. Every year, there's 2 movies, and there's the one movie that everyone loves, and I go into it being, it can't be that good. It doesn't look like it interests me. We'll see how it goes, and I love it. That was La La Land next year. I had very little interest other than I like the stars and I like the director, but just the idea. I'm not a musical fan. What I saw from it just wasn't catching me. I was like, I'm going to go in there. Even when first 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, this is so overhyped. Fell in love with it. It's one of my favorite movies maybe this past decade. And the other side of that coin is there's usually one that everyone loves that just not for me. Not even that I don't get it, I don't click. It just doesn't click. I'm not a fan of it. And not even a fan of, my examples, Boyhood, Spotlight. And last year was, Hell or High Water. A lot of these movies I should like. They're in my wheelhouse, especially Hell or High Water. And these movies, it's not that I think are bad. I don't think I go, oh, this was bad, this is a failing grade. It's just, they don't connect with me one way, whether it's the characters or the story or a little bit of both, or maybe some of the acting I think is a little like getting too much praise. That happens every year, and I'm sorry if you're a fan of this movie. Call Me By Your Name, I think is that movie for me this year. Movies, when I grade them, and I do give ratings because, there's a big debate on a geek for some people do, some people don't. I give movies ratings. I like to put a number because the number for me can change here and there, and especially over the years if I see a movie again. But most of the time, I give numbers because I like people, if they like me personally or they like my ideas or opinions, they know what kind of feeling, what kind of grade I can put on, right? So when I'm always grading a movie, and maybe I'm going to break history and give it a grade first. the first thing for a pass I gotta look for is it good editing, good acting, good writing, good cinematography, good score. This movie gets that with flying colors. This movie at times is beautiful. Acting, superb. These two leads, fantastic. I'm a big Armie Hammer fan. I've been waiting for him to break out for a while. It seems like he was that Sam Worthington sort of role where they put him in fucking what is that? What is the Tonto movie? See, it's the Tonto movie because they just previewed Johnny Depp. Lone Ranger. Seems like he got a lot of chances, never broke out, and now he's getting a lot more buzz past few years. Great for him. Later on, I guess I'll learn how to pronounce it throughout the years. I think it's Timothy Chalamet. I'll learn when the Golden Globes happen. He is phenomenal as well. He's a minor spoiler. He's in Lady Bird. Really good in that too. He's in two movies that are talked about possibly winning an Academy Award for Best Picture. He's gonna be a big star. He's gonna have a big career. Big fan of the two leads. They have great chemistry. Actually, their scenes. And so you take that stuff where it's like, okay, not the average stuff, but the stuff that should just be a good movie overall, is like I said, good editing, good pacing. It has that. And then there's stuff like, okay, good acting, and it looks even more beautiful than it should, and chemistry. Other than that, for me, I was not a fan of this movie. I hate to say it, I was kind of bored. And I said this to Liam, who used to be on our podcast, he moved away. I said that, for me, Oscar season is usually two things as well. Is because I don't get to see many of these movies. You hear the festivals, and in Kelowna, you really see them when a lot of the buzzes happen. So that's another thing. Sometimes the buzz just gets so high that it puts your expectations at. Sometimes I think an unfair amount. I can say that I can level them with. It's funny with comic book movies and action movies, but with Oscar movies, it's very tough because you don't know, are you getting a really artsy film, or are you getting a really actor-driven story, or character-driven story, or just like a story-driven, like something like Arrival, which is kind of character and story-driven really hard. So sometimes when Oscar season approaches, I feel two things that also happen to me is, one, it's like, oh, I'm getting to see a movie that I have not seen, I've heard all this buzz about, I see it, it's great, matches the buzz, it's one of my favorites of the year, or because I'm a film fan, I'm a fan of the Academy Awards, I like the show, I like the whole deal. If you're a film nut like me, that also someone that wants to work in film, you take notice of that stuff. I like to watch all the movies nominated so I can have conversation with people and not be those little fake posers that go, oh, like I've seen them and this movie sucks, like people like that were up in arms about Deadpool getting not nominated last year. A lot of them don't even watch the Academy Awards and they don't even care. I like to be the person who I've seen 7 out of 8 movies. I've seen 9 out of 10 movies, so I feel like I can make a good guess or good. I have a valid opinion to say, hey, I think this should win because I like it better than this movie because of reasons 1 to 10. But like I said, that second coin is sometimes I feel like I'm doing homework because I'm having to watch this movie. I'm not that interested in it, and okay, let's see what happens. And then I'm watching the movie, I'm still not interested in it. And I'm not going to turn off because I want to have that opinion. But that was Call Me By Your Name. It felt like homework for me. I was not that invested. I wasn't really invested in the story. The story, it's good. I think it has beats where, like I said, very, very loose spoilers. But I think the beginning is stronger, and I found myself more invested then. And then I slowly kind of sneaked away, which I think is supposed to be the reverse. Most people talk to me about why they like this film. And I got less and less interested as the film went on. There's many great lessons and great themes about falling in love, or the biggest one is your first love. There's many scenes where Timothy's character, I don't even remember their names. I saw this movie last night. Eli, when he is infatuated with Oliver in a way, and he is, he senses him in the other room, or he's thinking of things to say or things to do to get his attention or to get him to respond to him or how to kind of hit on him or how to make a move. We've all been there. We've all been that with our first, this is a good story about first love, but just love in general, where if you are someone like myself, years ago when I was single, if you worked with somebody and you kind of like them because you're at work, it's nowhere near this forbidden love situation, but it's this thing where oh, don't date employees, and it's this thing how do you do this? Is this right doing this? Can we? How do I kind of puff out my chest to show hey, I'm interested in you, but in the same way you don't want to ruin something, or you don't want to intrude because maybe they don't feel the same way, and you don't want someone to feel awkward, but at the same time it's tearing you apart, and you. Just by the sight of that person, your skin is crawling because you just want to talk to them. Skin crawling in a good way. You just want to talk to them, you want to touch them, you want to be around them. that the movie does that great. I think at the very beginning you get that vibe, and then like some minor spoilers. They get together. There's some weird kind of like distance. There's like kind of one-upmanship game, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is route the movie are going. But then they're just really happy, and then it just kind of continues on. There's some problems along the way, and there's a big problem obviously because they're two men who are gay who love each other. They're living in a time where it is very looked down upon. That's something you do not do, especially there's a big age gap between them, so that would be even more so. That could be, something against the law. So there's many things that are keeping them apart, and that's done well, and everything's done well, but the characters I don't really connect to. I connected to Oliver, who played by Armie Hammer, because I really like Armie Hammer. I think he's great in this movie. He's very charismatic, and I think Timothy plays this really good, really subtle, strong performance, and you get that what he wants. But I never liked the character. It's weird to say. I think he acted well, but I never found a reason to like him. And with the whole thing with the dad, I think some people will not agree with me at all. The film sometimes feels very hoity-toity. It feels very, look at me, I'm super smart. There's the first half of this movie, there's lots of, what's the story of this one? Oh, the great battle and this and that. Oh, but did you know this happened in the great battle? Oh, did you know this happened? It's like a lot of like smart, like one-upsmanship sort of thing. That has its place in movies and writing. If you like that type of dialogue, that's great. For me, I want characters talking about emotional moments and stuff that is more about who they are as a person, which does happen in this film, but I think at some point I just didn't end up caring anymore, and I think sometimes they come off a little pretentious, the characters, for me, and I think that's the reason why I didn't connect. I wasn't invested in their love story. Everything was just kind of happening here and there as far as I think it took too long for them to get together, and it's just this like, okay, there's a little bit of a build up, but then they're touching each other. It's like, oh, it'll go away. And then there's a little bit of build up, and there's touched her, oh, and it goes away. And then like, oh, there's this girl, and that like this guy, because obviously he's a gay man, he is starting to date this girl, and he sleeps with this girl, and like, I guess spoilers in a sense, but like, and then this girl storyline's there, and then it's just kind of dropped because we go on this direction. Like, we just kind of go all over in these different scenarios, and there's just, I feel, very random scenes placed of just, this happens, and then this happens, and then we're going to take a trip downtown, and I think, I said this to somebody, if you like the characters, I bet you fucking love this movie from start to finish, because if I have two characters that I love, if I took my two favorite characters, put them in the movie together, and made them do the stuff, I could keep watching. Something like Hannibal, like with Will and Hannibal. Hannibal Lecter. I could watch them do anything, because their chemistry, I love the way the characters bounce off each other. This just, I don't know. I didn't feel it. They had fun playfulness here and there, but I never felt at any moment it was like an eternal love, like they weren't going to get together, or it was this forbidden thing. There's times where it's like, oh, I'd love to kiss you right now because they're in the streets, but I didn't get the dread from it of like them really wanting to be together, except for the end. They did a good job. I think at the very end of the movie, they do, I won't spoil it, but they do some things that really strengthen that relationship. But for the most part, it didn't really matter to me. The characters around them, what were happening, I didn't care. He has these cool parents that I think are kind of very down to earth, almost kind of not stoner, like I don't want to put them that way, but very right with everything. And the thing was, the movie's best moment is not with the two characters, the two main leads that are in love with each other. It's with the younger guy's dad, and he gives this great speech, and it's a great speech, and it leaves you with many questions, and it's a great speech about life, but he delivers that, not the kid, not Eloy, and not Oliver. For me, the best moment that I was most intrigued was this father and son relationship, which makes sense because I'm very close with my dad, so that by proxy kind of speaks to me. And I think some people could say, oh, this story might not speak to you because you're not a gay man. I don't know, Moonlight spoke a lot to me. I loved Moonlight. I thought it was great. Yeah, I made my little joke at the beginning, but if I didn't have La La Land winning, Moonlight would have been my second pick. And for me, I just didn't connect with them. I didn't connect with the characters. The love was decent, but nothing really took me by surprise. Nothing really entertained me. Nothing really made me super sad or super happy or super funny. It just was just kind of there, and stuff was just kind of happening. There was characters around them that were just kind of happening. I wanted maybe a bit more relationship. I wanted a bit more of them being fleshed out. I know it was a relationship, but I feel like those two separately as entities didn't get fleshed out. Where I feel like certain love stories, I'm sorry, I'll throw it out there, like a La La Land, where I feel like, okay, these characters separately are really fleshed out. When you put them together, they're even better. I didn't get that with Call Me by Your Name. I didn't feel that I had, other than, like I said, I felt like they were kind of pretentious and they knew a lot of shit and they had some snarky attitudes here and there, but they were friendly. I think I'm more so on the side of Eloy, of being, I was a fan of him and I got what he was going for, because like I said, it's the beginning chunk that I liked. He was very confused. He's trying to find his way in the world. He loves this guy, but he doesn't feel exactly right about it at the beginning. I thought it was going good places, but the other thing I have to say is it's a story that I feel like I've seen in many other things before. So for me, you gotta do something different. There's a movie coming up that I will talk about that would have been that way, but they did a little different take, or in my opinion, they went a different route with it, and I really liked it. I thought this was pretty paint by numbers. I kind of thought where we were gonna end up, where we were gonna go and end up in this movie was exactly what happened. And sometimes, you know what? I'm fine with saying, hey, the story or the movie or the TV show was predictable, but what happened in it was good. And sometimes it being predictable is the right thing because that means it's the best story. I can agree with that, but I think it was just predictable and I didn't get any of that stuff I just told you about that I found I was loving the characters. I was immersed in the story. I really wasn't. This just felt like some episode of some TV show that maybe I did not see the first half of. I was not invested in these characters. The story's fine. It looks great. The score is pretty good too. It has a very foreign film feel to it. If you've seen the movie, I love the ending credits. I think that's some of the best. And so the last scene has really great acting. I think that person is his strongest moment acting. But that's the other thing when people talk about him being one of the potential winners of Best Actor. I could see him getting nominated, but I think the performances were really good. And I think I called them superb earlier as far as their chemistry and their acting, but I don't think it was anything, it didn't blow me away. I didn't go, this guy needs to win all the awards, for both of them. And I don't think that's on them. I think it's, for me, the story. And I don't want to say too much more because of spoilers. There's certain instances, but it just felt a little all over the place. Not as far as pacing, not as far as like a Suicide Squad where this doesn't make sense, this doesn't make sense. It's just like, okay, we're going here. Okay, that's fine. Oh, we're going this storyline with this girl. Okay, oh, we're going with his parents. Okay, we're going here. Oh, and he's just kind of gone for half the movie. Oh, he's back, and it's like, wasn't for me. Call Me by Your Name. I'm giving it. I think I'll be nice, and I'll give it a 7. Because I give it always a pass for that, and I'll give it a couple extra points for some chemistry, which I do think they had in their scenes. Like I said, it's a minus where I hate there's this portion where they are trying to do this one umpsmanship of like, oh, well, you made this move, so you're, like, it's kind of like you did this first, so you're weaker, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I didn't need that, just being loved for a bit, so that kind of took me out of it. So I'll give it a 7, because with the Oscar movies, I try to do and lots, actually, with most movies I do from the technical standpoint and just my overall enjoyment. So if I just did overall enjoyment, it'd probably be like a 5, to be honest. I didn't really like this movie. I was kind of bored. It was not for me. And maybe, you know what? I would love, if you like this movie or love this movie, tell me in the comments why it spoke to you, because even after this, I usually don't before I review, but I went and read some reviews because I want to know, okay, why do people love this movie so much? And I think it's just one of these things where people can say stuff. It's not a plot hole thing. There's not character plot holes. It's just something that doesn't speak for me. I didn't connect, and I wish I did. I want to like every movie I do. So thank you very much for tuning into this review. We got many more coming up. I got 2 this week will be I, Tonya and Lady Bird, because I've been able to see those. And then I'll be going through Shape of Water. I'm definitely going to see... there's a few others, and especially I'll probably, other than Shape of Water, I'm probably gonna wait a little bit and then wait till I see the rest, like when the actual Oscar nominations come out, to see which ones I review, or if I just like a movie, I will review it regardless. And there's some that I may see. Last year I saw Hell or High Water, didn't want to review it. I didn't really care that much to say. Call Me by Your Name, maybe it's because it's the first one, but I wanted to get out there and be like, you know what, I had some stuff to say about it, because with Hell or High Water, I think for me, I really enjoyed it. Or no, I just kind of enjoyed it, but I got why people really liked it. I just thought I had seen it before. Call Me by Your Name, for me, I understand, I guess, why people like it. It's just, I'm a bit more surprised. I guess it was the hype. It's again the hype. Hell or High Water had hype, but it did not have this level of hype. Where Calling by Your Name, I've heard a lot of good things about it and people talking about it for quite a while. Didn't do it for me. Did it do it for you? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for tuning in. Check out, it's the new year. We got lots of great stuff. We just dropped a Cantina Conversations trying to predict what's going to happen in episode 9. We got 2018 movie preview coming up. The Gauntlet's coming out. We got tons of stuff. Please subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, or all the other podcast services. Go to Patreon, get exclusive episodes early. You can get stuff months early. You see that dollar? You have $1 sitting on your floor. It's been sitting there for months. Give it to us so we can help us out as far as creating more shows, creating more content, getting it out there. We couldn't do this without you. You guys support us big time 2017. So thank you very much for tuning into this and tuning into anything else. I will see you next time, or you'll see me next time, and it won't be boring.